then you start talking. Okay, that's really, really good. Hey Craig, how you going? That's really, really good in terms of what you want to do to get them to stop. And I'll always say something like that, yes, like, hey, I just saw you walking past, I had to stop you, okay? Hey Bob, how you going, buddy? And you'll actually see that perfectly well executed by myself, Brad, and Alex many, many times, and exactly what they say. So that's probably, there's going to be a ton of video content on that coming later, so please hang tight for that. But, you know, it's not easy stopping girls, especially if they're in a rush, and they actually have somewhere to go to, have work to go to. So there's going to be a ton of girls that are just like, look, sorry, I've got to go, unless you do the next advanced approach, or is actually like literally like jump out in front of them. Yeah, if they're not going to stop or they're not willing to stop, and you kind of try a couple of times, just let them go. Just let them go. The ones that will stop are the ones that are interested. The ones that won't stop probably have a boyfriend, or probably are just not in the right space of mind to meet someone, and that is perfectly fine. Don't let it get you down. The other thing that you could probably do is change up where you are, okay? So I'll always like to be somewhere where I know that there is a mixed traffic, so to speak, of people that are sitting down that I can just go up and approach, and I know I can go up and approach them and it's not going to be an issue in terms of getting them to stop. And then also people that are walking past, or people that tend to be walking slower, okay? If you're in a busy street and there's just like traffic, it gets really friggin' hectic, and it's just not really an environment that's conducive to meeting women, okay? So the best thing to do is choose your location a little bit better. You definitely want to have that sort of string to your bow where you can get women to stop that are walking past, because that's a very good tool. But at the same time, you know, if you're constantly just getting like running past women and trying to get them to stop, it does get very very draining, and you kind of feel like you're just running around the whole time, and that's no fun, is it, right? So try and find someone that's a little bit better. Okay, in terms of getting in front of them, there is a really, really good way to do it that doesn't scare them. There's kind of like a like the, you know, sort of like jump, where you like jump in front of them, and that can scare them. But at the same time, it can also be pulled off really, really well, in terms of like there's just this energy, and she just like realizes that you're cool and funny, and then she'll talk to you. Okay? But you can actually get straight in front of them, okay? So you like walk around the room, and then you go, right? Just 1 second, okay? And as you're doing this, step back, all right? So you're stepping back, and then come in and go, hey, it's cool, I'm fine, I just wanted to meet you. I just needed to get you to stop. Okay? Kevin, Michael, welcome. You know, and if they get scared by that, probably just needs a little bit better calibration, just needs a big smile on your behalf, needs you to be a little bit more relaxed, and yeah, just try and sort of make it as fun and as lighthearted as you can. You know, if you like go up to them and like, they're going to get freaked out, right? But if you're just like smiling the whole time and actually enjoying it, they're going to want to step into that energy, or they're going to be immediately relaxed by you smiling and you being happy and just bringing that energy, okay? Go and watch a ton of prank videos where people are like scaring the fuck out of people. And then there's usually a point in the video where they like laugh and just like start cracking up, okay? You kind of want to come from that sort of mindset where you're like making the woman actually laugh and like get excited, and the tension is just immediately taken off. If you can do that, then it becomes much more powerful than having the risk of scaring her and just walking off. But if it happens, it happens. What are you going to do? Go to the next girl. Alright, Kenneth, you had something back up here. Will there be a module covering Tinder social profile optimization? What should be there and what to avoid? Yes, absolutely. There's a ton of stuff in this program, guys. A ton. 40 hours of actual recorded content. Maybe even more. So everything that you need will be covered. I know it's not all out there right now, ready to go, but as I said before, there is a reason that we're doing that. But having said that, I will do a basic webinar on the Tinder profiles that have been posted already to give you guys a little bit of an idea, and maybe make some changes or implement some changes right away. But then there will be a big module coming on Tinder, and there'll be a ton of text breakdown, which is, you know, the next step from Tinder. You've got your match, you've got someone there that you want to meet. How do you get her on a date, or how do you get to meet her? Okay, it's essentially a text game. It's a Tinder text game. But there's many parallels between the two, so that will all be broken down. But next week I'll just be doing only the profile, okay, which is what you guys are posting. Okay, Huang Tran, hope your name's right, man. When I have no plans, no scripts, and just say anything, which I think in my head to the girls, most of them don't want to talk to me, but I feel more freedom, confident, with a lot of nervousness. Okay? So what was old school game? It was going up, rattling off these lines or can openers, straight to a girl's face, and the guys would summon up all this confidence, right? And they would they thought because they had the line or because they had the opener and it had been field tested and it worked, that they were just going to do it and they were going to get success, right? Maybe, or that worked, or maybe it developed a little bit of attraction, and sure, people did well with that, and people still do okay with that, but is that real game? Not really. It's just saying a bunch of shit that some other guy has supposedly used to get girls, and then you're doing it. And no, I don't consider that to be game, and I don't advise that in any way. Hey Daniel, welcome. However, there is certain value in taking what can be learned from those situations or scripts or whatever, right? And using them in conjunction with talking normally or talking naturally or standard cold approach where you're just literally going up to a girl and talking, okay? So the key word here is that when you just go and talk, you feel more nervous, right? And that's because you're unsure of what you're saying and whether or not it's going to work, okay? So the key thing that I would say there is you need to become more sure of that. If you become more sure of that, you won't be as nervous, okay? How do you become more sure of that? You do it over and over. You trust in the process. You trust in yourself. You deliver words on impact, yelling, shout, not shouting, but delivering with intent. Okay, you're talking to me now. I'm engaging you in a conversation. Listen up, right? I've been out with a couple of students recently, and I've told them to say the exact same thing, but deliver it with more intent and more impact and more, vocal presence. So you kind of boom, 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 hitting the girl on a certain level where she's like, oh, okay, yes, I'm talking to you now, right? I'm talking to you. What do you have to say? I'm giving you my attention now. That's how you want to be doing it, but that is only going to come with time. Okay? Now, going back to the old kind of style of, scripts or plans and that sort of stuff works because those lines are designed to engage girls on a certain level or, touch, certain parts, touch buttons, so to speak, that kind of get them excited or get them interested and open up and start, sort of paying attention to you because, oh, this guy is talking to me in a way that is engaging and is kind of, it's not like every other boring guy is doing, hey, how's your night going, what's happening, So that's why that is attractive to women, that's why it does work. However, has no value whatsoever if that's all you can do, okay? If you can only just say those lines and just say those little scripts, a girl's going to lose interest in you very quickly. You need to have a bit more of a certain level of depth to yourself and depth to conversation. Otherwise, girls will sense it immediately, and they will think you're either one of those just robotic, socially inept guys, or they'll actually think that you're a gamer. And girls are very, sort of cluey in these things these days. 10 years ago, the pickup industry was not very well known. Now it's extremely well known. So girls are clued on to when guys are using lines to game, okay? The best thing that you can do is you can go up and you can have what I call an organic conversation, which is a conversation based on, it's organic. It's right there. There's nothing else that's brought into it besides you and the girl or the group or whatever it may be. It's fresh. It's it's just you. She hasn't heard this conversation before. She hasn't met this person before. And if you can nail that, you become very, very attractive to the girl and her friends, or even guys. If you can just have an awesome conversation about what's going on in the moment, that is the shit. That's the best thing that you can do. Okay. Now, I can do that very, very well. A lot of guys that are good can do that very, very well. But I understand it's not that easy for some of you, and I understand it's not, hey Christian, I understand it's not that easy for all of you, okay? So what you want to do is you want to try and go in, talk as naturally as you possibly can, and be as cool and confident with it as you can. And then when it gets to that sort of like lull point where you're like, oh, what should I say next? Or what should I do next? Then you want to have something to fall back on, okay? Because that's where I see a lot of guys going wrong, is they're like, well, I'm just going to, do this thing and talk naturally. But they end up shooting themselves in the foot because they don't necessarily have the skill set to continue to talk naturally for the entirety of a conversation or a good pickup, okay? So you want to kind of intermingle the two, because not only is that going to extend your conversations and extend your interactions on a deeper level, but you're also going to be more confident in general talking about the natural stuff, just talking like you would talk to any stranger that you've met. So I would suggest getting maybe 3 to 5 sort of like little pieces or points to fall back on. An example, just right off the bat, an example would be, tell me what you're good at, or what do you specialize in, what's so good about you, okay? Little things like that you can ask a girl when you're not really sure where to take it or the conversation is dying out. So it's a nice little balance. In fact, I'll even have those sort of things in the bag, so to speak, so when I'm, with a girl and I feel things aren't going, not going anywhere, but things are just dying a little bit, I'll just have these little questions to just like really jumpstart the conversation and get like her excited and get her engaged again. So if you've already got some scripts, I would suggest tailoring them to you as a person, so that when they're delivered, she doesn't feel as if it's just like some made up bullshit that someone else has made and you're copying, okay? It's kind of like your own piece. That's the best way to do that. But keep going, keep talking naturally, and keep trying to become as natural as you can, okay? Because those scripts that were developed, or canned stuff, or whatever you want to call it, all that sort of stuff that was developed a long time ago, is really outdated stuff, and it's if you want to be good, it's not going to get you solid results, and it's not going to allow you to keep girls around for a long time, okay? Or keep girls around for more than, one night. All those guys that are like gamey guys, like, they don't get girlfriends. They might, hook up with a girl, but they don't get or keep girlfriends. And that's what you want to do, is you want to have that skill set where your conversational skills and you as a person allow you to keep girls in your life if you choose for them to. Okay, next question, we got about 5 or 6 more. Next one is from Steven. Okay, so I actually have a girlfriend right now. While I do have one, I feel at the same time, I'm at the prime time in my life to be meeting girls and don't want to miss out on that, okay? Excellent mindset to be coming from, really, really good. Do you believe that there is such a thing as a healthy, open relationship? Can intimacy/trust and being open coexist in your experience, okay? I've tried open relationships. In the past, they've tended to go to shit after a while, but that might just be me. But that might just be more a function of not really taking the time to work things out and talk about things. Okay. In any case, I still want to do cold approach to build up a social circle. Game is a passion of mine, and I don't want to give up positively influencing people just because I'm in a relationship. Okay. I'm genuinely interested in making friends with cool guys and girls just to meet new people, to express myself. I've never approached dudes before for this purpose and ended up just meeting whoever I happen to study with. Do you think it makes sense at all to approach guys as well as girls and get them on your Snapchat and stuff? Okay. So there's a couple of different things there. Yeah, to read just on that quickly, yeah. I wouldn't worry about it too much, man, but as I said, the more natural you are and the less lines that you're using, girls will have no idea that I'm running game. I'm like, absolutely no idea. And even, some of the infill stuff that you'll see me doing, it doesn't even really, what I'm saying is not game, but it's more so what I'm doing and conveying by my body language, the way I'm saying it, the type of questions that I'm asking it. But yeah, I wouldn't worry about them smelling on you, but yeah, definitely on the right path and thought process with that.